Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is chapter 78 of Chance Ball, and this one is titled Getting Closer. They all talked a little more, and then Dabi shook the celebrant's hand and she left, and he and Fuji went to the restaurant to organise things there. Should we book the place out? From about 3:30 p.m. Dabi asked Fuji when they stepped inside. It was a smallish teppanyaki restaurant and had 3 barbecue tops with about 8 seats around each, and then 10 other tables occupying the rest of the available space. "Hello, can I help you?" an older man asked when he saw the 2 20-something-year-olds standing at the door just looking around the place. "Yeah," Dabi said with a sly grin. "We want to book this whole restaurant out for me and my wife's wedding at the end of the year. Is that possible?" The guy, who happened to be the manager of the place, nearly keeled over. "Book the whole place?" "Yeah," Dabi said confidently. "Oh, well, yes, you certainly can. What day and for how many hours?" the manager asked. Dabi gave the dates and then booked the place out from 3:30 p.m. till 9. "How many people are you expecting to arrive?" the manager asked. "What's your seating capacity?" Dabi asked in return. "Well, as you can see, we aren't a very big establishment, but we can seat 80 comfortably. But could push to 100 if we added in a few more tables and chairs, which we're happy to do so if you'd like," the manager offered, excited that they would get a good few hours of business as they'd been struggling as of late. "Yeah, that's good. Can I let you know tentative numbers in 2 weeks' time?" Dabi asked. The manager nodded happily. "Yes, that would be great." "Awesome," Dabi said with a nod. "Now, let's talk about the other stuff. Are you licensed or BYO?" The manager was only too happy to discuss details and to talk about the menu for the evening. He promised there would be 3 teppanyaki chefs on duty that day and would make a variety of foods for the guest. Then the other staff would take the food around on plates and serve people. "We also have 3 tables out on the alfresco area too for those who'd like some fresh air." "Yeah, perfect," Dabi said with a grin. He was excited that everything was working out. After finishing up at the restaurant, the 2 boys hopped back into Dabi's car and made a mad dash back to the training centre so he could get home in time so he wouldn't be suspicious of him getting home late. "Thanks for today," Dabi thanked Fuji. "It was good having you along." "No need for thanks," Fuji replied. "Happy to help." "Thanks, bro," Dabi said, and then they parted ways and Fuji went into the practice hall and Dabi drove home. With the venue, celebrant and rings sorted, Dabi just now had to gather the attendees and secretly let them all know what was happening. For most of the people, he made a personal visit to explain everything, and for those he couldn't immediately visit, he called them while at practice. Everyone was on board, and, once they understood the assignment, was so ready to surprise you on the day of your wedding. Some offered to buy wine for the day, others the decorations, and before he knew it, it was all the other little bits and pieces that had all come together and there was nothing more to do. The only thing he had to do now was get his little Koemi a pretty dress and a bucket with petals to toss. "Hey," Dabi greeted Fuji one afternoon as he strolled in for volleyball practice. "What's up?" Fuji replied, tossing a volleyball up to whack it. After he had successfully served it, he turned to Dabi. "So, we've got to get a dress for Koemi," Dabi said. "Oh, yeah, I'll take Susa shopping this evening for it." "Okay, cool. I'm going to have to trust your pick because I can't send any pictures or anything. If Yin sees it, it's all over. We're so close to D-Day. I don't want anything to get out, yeah?" "Yeah, I gotcha," Fuji replied. "Do you want a white dress for it?" "Yeah, I guess. White or some soft colour," he replied. "Yeah, don't worry. I'll ask Susa. I have pictures of Ko on my camera roll, so I'll show her and see what she thinks." "Yeah, cool. Good," Dabi said, fidgeting nervously. "You good?" Fuji asked, sensing a little bit of stress in Dabi. Yeah, just want it to all go well, it's so close to time." "Don't stress," Fuji encouraged him. "We got your back." "Thanks," Dabi said, relaxing a little. That night, Fuji met Susa in front of the kids' store at the local shops with a kiss and an intimate embrace. Then they broke apart and held hands as they walked to the kids' store. "So, what are we doing in here?" Susa asked with a loving smile. "The guy you sold the rings to the other day that I met you, Dabi, do you remember him? He's getting married. Needs a dress for his daughter. It's a surprise wedding, so he can't get it himself for fear of his missus finding out." "Well," she said with a knowing smirk, "you've brought the right woman along because I know just the style of dress she needs. How old is his daughter?" "She'll be 3 soon." "Oh, cute," Susa replied. "Do you have a picture?" Fuji pulled out his phone and clicked his camera roll open and showed Susa pictures from the last time he'd been over at your house, even showing Susa some videos of him and Koemi playing in the lounge room. "Oh, Oh, she's so cute, Susa gushed. And you're so good with her. Yeah, she loves me, he said with a chuckle. She told Dabi she wanted to be my girlfriend when she grew up. Well, she missed out, Susa said with a chuckle. But I'll still get her a pretty dress for the day. This isn't the right place, so come with me. And with that, she took his hand and led him from the kids' store and off down the road to a wedding boutique. After looking around at the clothes, she selected a white dress that had a tie up around the waist, and then picked a flower crown with black and blue flowers in it to throw homage to the Blue Flames team that Koemi loves so much because of her daddy. Dabi also said something about a bucket, flowers, petals to toss or something, Fuji asked. Oh, yes, let's get her that too, Susa said, well and truly in the mood for flower girl wedding dress shopping. She spoke to the attendant there and bought a bag of dried rose petals along with a little white bucket to throw them from. Then, after getting the items together, her and Fuji left. I think Dabi will be happy with these, Fuji said as he carried the bags. I think so too, she said as she hung off his arm, looking up at him lovingly. You're invited to the wedding too, Fuji said, just so you know. And we're in charge of changing Koemi into the dress, while Dabi and his missus are getting married on the beach. I'm interested to see how this goes, Susa said with amusement. You guys are really different. Just so you know, I'm not 100% against something like this for myself, but maybe allowing me to at least get a dress would be nice. Yeah, noted, he said as they headed off through the mall. Time ticked on, and your final day of teaching the kids before the school break came to a close. Have a nice break, you called to Yoshi as he left. I won't see you next year, but you have an awesome time in preschool, okay? But I want to come and practice here more, he said in a quivering voice as he pulled away from his mum and swayed between running back to you or going home. You've grown so much since you first started here, you said to him. I wouldn't be surprised if the Blue Flames asked you to play on their team. You're that good. Really? He asked with delight. Of course. You make an amazing setter. So you go to preschool and keep practicing, and one day I'll see you on the Blue Flames team, okay? Okay, he said with delight, and turned to run back to his mum. She smiled at you as he came back to her side, and then she headed for the door. Thank you for everything, Yin. Oh, you're welcome, you replied, holding back some happy tears that were threatening to spill. All of your 3-year-olds had turned 4 now, and were headed to preschool in the new year, which meant new kids would be coming through. You were sad to see them go, but also happy to have the chance to set them up for their volleyball future. The following year you would have a 9-month-old coming to your class who apparently was obsessed with volleyball and could already walk, so that was going to be a learning curve for you. Her mum would be staying in on the lessons to help though, so that was good. At the end of the day, you headed home, ready to relax for a few days before the kids' graduation, and then following day you, Dabi and Missy K would be heading off for a 2-week holiday near the beach. I'm home, you called as you entered the house. Mama's home, Dabi called happily. Mummy, Koemi called, running to greet you at the front door. What's for dinner, Daddy? I am starving, you called to him as you picked Koemi up and gave her a cuddle. What do you feel like? I'll order it in, he asked. You chose your food, and he grabbed his phone to make the order while you walked into the lounge and sat down to zone out for a second. Are we going on a holiday soon? Koemi asked. Holiday? Oh, yes, we're going. Yeah, soon. Is it tomorrow? She asked, tilting her head to the side. Not tomorrow, but soon, you replied. Is it on a faraway day? She asked. Not super far away, just another week or so, you said with a smile. Oh, is it not a longer times away? Nope, not a longer times, just a short time. I'll tell you when it is, okay, you said, feeling like this conversation was going around in circles. Dinner will be here in 20 minutes, Dabi called out to you. Oh, thank God, you sighed. Did he bring it? Koemi asked. Did who bring what, sweetheart? You asked her. Did God bring the dinner? Why did you ask if God had brought it? You asked her. Because you said thanks God, she replied with an innocent head tilt. Yeah, he's delivering it, Dabi chimed in as he entered the room and sat down on the lounge next to you to give you a kiss. Koemi's eyes went wide, but she didn't say anything, and 20 minutes later the doorbell rang. Dabi got up and so did Koemi, trotting to the door after him while you stayed on the lounge. Hey, Dabi greeted the guy who was delivering the food. Thanks. No trouble, man, the guy replied, looking down into the large, wondering eyes of Koemi. Thanks, you God, she said in an awestruck voice. You're welcome, he replied with confusion. Yeah, all the best with the received deliveries, God, Dabi said to the guy, before closing the door, leaving one very confused delivery guy out there. I've never seen God before, Komi said thoughtfully as she followed Dabi back into the lounge. I feel like something like this is an actual story that's actually happened because kids say the darndest things. Stay tuned for the next chapter coming tomorrow. I'll see you then.